it's hard for me to, and I've had a chance to look at, it's hard for me to understand why it was ruled the way it was ruled. And if it is ruled that way, then why wasn't it slowed down? Just to make sure that we have this right. So I'll just leave it at that. But I'm saying it because I'm standing up for Buffalo, damn it. I'm standing up for us. Because what went on is not how it should go down, in my estimation. That play, these guys spent 3 hours out there playing football, pouring their guts out, to not even say, hey, let's just slow this thing down. That's why I'm bothered.
What do you think?
He called a timeout. Like, I understand that it's fun to, like, put the tin hat on and say it's a big conspiracy. But the rules are the rules. If you're mad at them, that's fair.
Yeah.
And you can take a still shot and being like, how is this not a catch? It's a still frame. It's a ridiculous ordeal. Since, I don't know, so I guess the Calvin Johnson thing a decade ago, you have to survive the ground.
Yeah.
We did not survive the ground there. There are some other gripes, but what I look at this, again, and you can be mad at me all you want, Bills fans, and we're going to get into some things, but this penalty right here is a penalty. He's early. This is a penalty every day of the week. Again, ball's not there. Look at this.
Yeah.
Jay, it's a penalty. Like, you can throw your helmet, you can be mad as all you want. That is a penalty. You know, you look at the catch to Cooks, again, like, it's a bang-bang play, but I really have a hard time believing that New York is sitting there going, you know what, let's conspire against Josh Allen and the Bills. If I had to guess, Roger Goodell in New York wanted the Bills to win.
1,000%.
This is not, it's a bit of a strange thing. And I think Buffalo really needs to, like, take a look in the mirror here and realize that they had a lot of opportunities to win this game, and it didn't just come down to a penalty.
And 4 turnovers. The fact that you got to overtime.
It's crazy.
At all.
It's crazy.
4 turnovers. Josh Allen, you feel for him. Seems like an amazing person, but, and he's emotional at the end. But how much blame do you put on Josh Allen for this loss?
So 2 of them, of the turnovers, I think are Josh. 2 of them, I really don't think are his fault. One of them being the Cooks interception there.
Right.
He missed some throws, and it wasn't his best night overall. But again, let's look at some of this stuff here. This is, I can't describe how idiotic even doing this is. What are we trying to get? Into field goal range? You don't have a timeout. We're scrambling there. Why didn't we just take a knee and go to the half? You know what would have mattered at the end of the game? The 3 points you gave up. Now, I want you to watch this here. You're supposed to have a chip. This one I don't put on him. It's Benito, okay? Khalil Shakir is supposed to be chipping here and does not, and then we get drilled in the back. What do you want Josh to do? Again, and then this one I would say is a bad throw. Like, the guy made a lot of great plays tonight. He ran. He threw the ball. But this is a tough throw. I think he should have aired it over the top, would have been there. He'd like to have that one back. But that being said, I honestly thought that the Bills jammed themselves.
It's
I'm
like
not
you
giving
said,
it to the refs.
the opportunities were there for them to win this football game, even with the turnovers.
The opportunities were there. I think if you're a Bills fan right now and you're looking at the bigger picture too, the fact that the AFC is generally weak this year.
Oh, man.
Like, this was the year to do it.
Big time.
And I'd go back, even in the first quarter when they were rolling and Cook fumbled the ball, I sat there at that point before the fumble. I'm like, this might be a double-digit win for Buffalo. The run game was rolling. The defense looked good. I'm like, they're going to blow this thing out. And all of a sudden, Alex Singleton, shout out his Canadian ties, popped the ball out on a great tackle, and the game completely flipped.
Brandon Beane, Sean McDermott, they are the Bills' sort of, leadership. They have been for a while now. Do you see any reason, would you be surprised at all if one or both of them wasn't with this team when we start the season next year?
I would be surprised if they weren't, but I think we need to have an honest conversation for the Bills fans out here, the ones that aren't too mad at me for saying that I think it was an interception. Josh is at the podium, in tears at the end of the game. And you look at what happened in this game. They don't do enough to help him out. The run game, yes, they do there. But receiver-wise, you're throwing to McCole Hardman, who's barely been there, you've barely thrown to. You're throwing to Keon Coleman, who is a healthy scratch this season. Kincaid is really the only guy there that has been, week in and week out when he wasn't injured, a legitimate threat. and you sit there and you go, what happened to Josh? What happened to Josh? Why didn't we overpay for a weapon? You cannot tell me that if you would have went to Miami at the trade deadline and said, we will overpay for Jalen Waddle, that he wouldn't have been worth 3 points, which would have you in the AFC Championship. And now all of a sudden, it's not overpaying. This window for Josh is going to last longer, but it brings me back to my Seattle days, where when I look back on my Seattle days, I am so grateful that we won a Super Bowl. But there's a part of me, especially with how the second Super Bowl was lost, where I wonder to myself, what could have been?
Right.
We should have won that second one. Would that have led to a third? Would we be a dynasty? Buffalo is in that window right now, and they have another shot. I would argue potentially the greatest shot without having Mahomes in there. In the moment of truth, he's got no one to throw to. You look at some of the misses, they're just on different pages because he hasn't had a receiver who's been there all year. I really struggle with the idea that we want to, again, I know it was at the trade deadline, we're going back, that we want to protect the roster, not overpay. This is the time. You've got the best football player on planet Earth.
Yep.
Load him up and win the Super Bowl. But instead, we need him to be Superman. And today, he wasn't his normal Superman self. He had a couple mistakes, and it cost him.
And then Bo Nix, who was really good on Saturday, crazy injury. He's done for the season. So now Jarrett Stidham is starting for your Denver Broncos in the AFC Championship game. It is wild. And if you're the Rams right now, sorry, not the Rams. I apologize. I'm in the wrong conference.
Yeah, if you're the Texans or
if you're the
Patriots.
Texans or the Patriots, you're like,
it's the AFC Championship.
this is
Tomorrow's
incredible for us, right? We just got to get there.
Correct.
We just got to get there.
Like, again, I'm just going back to kind of my thought process. This is going to sound a bit bizarre, but I remember the NFC Championship against San Francisco thinking, this is the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We will beat Denver. We will. I love that matchup for us. We need to beat San Fran. It was much more difficult as a matchup goes. So you got to think right now, if you're on that staff or you're playing in New England, the Texans, both those teams have great defenses.
Yes.
Great defenses. You're thinking, we need to find a way to win tomorrow. And it's not a guarantee, but golly, this feels like the AFC Championship now.